Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You can call it Mikey's Video Game Madness or Mikey's Madness. It doesn't really matter. You're at the same place regardless. I wanted to make a video today and I'm not exactly sure what I should even make a video about. I just feel bad I'm not doing edited recorded gameplay. I'm just not feeling it, which is why I've done videos of me just live streaming and stuff like that. Sorry, my brain froze because I heard the dog. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm justifying this to you, but I'm just so awkward in front of camera and in front of strangers. Ironically, I work at a job that requires me to deal with people all the time, and I'm fine there, but just in front of this camera or meeting strangers outside of work, it's really difficult. And I guess it's because I like have I guess something I need to do. Like, I know I need to sell things where I don't know, I just can't put two and two together to make four, and I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm trying to sell you my channel or my vlogs or whatever to keep you interested, and it's really weird to talk to like a Cyclops looking droid. It kind of does look like a deformed version of Johnny Five from Short Circuit. So not much has changed as far as life stuff goes. As far as me, I'm kind of the same. There's some serious stuff going on in my personal life, so that's kind of probably will keep me occupied a little bit as far as like my headspace and stuff goes, and probably me wanting to record things. I can't really get into it because it doesn't necessarily involve me directly, and that's their business, but it does affect me, and I can't really go into detail out of respect. And I'm pausing all the time like this. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe other YouTubers have rubbed off on me. So they have this thing now, I think it's COPPA, where apparently YouTube got sued for advertising to children. So if you have child-friendly content, apparently you can't get monetized or get any kind of advertising on your videos. I don't monetize my videos, but I know as time goes on, YouTube will probably try to only focus on the people that make the money. It's no longer necessarily a creative platform for everyone, just a creative platform for people who make YouTube money. So I'm not worried about my income as far as what I get from YouTube, because I don't get any money from YouTube because I don't monetize my videos. I currently don't have a Patreon because I don't see what the point of it is, since I'm not popular, and I can definitely see why some people wouldn't want to watch this because I'm all over the place. But yeah, like, I know a lot of people are whining about it. My main concern is since I do video game related videos in the future, if YouTube doesn't see me as being profitable, but even if I was making adult friendly videos, like, I still wouldn't be profitable because not a lot of people watch my channel. So I don't know, are there other platforms or anything that people are more likely to watch, like up and coming things like YouTube? I know people have mentioned some services in the past, but I don't remember what they were, and I can't remember what video like those comments were left on. But I would definitely be interested and maybe get to a wider audience that that's like when YouTube first started and it was more community based, because I feel like I'm getting more and more lost on this platform. I don't know if it's just because of me, but I think it's more because YouTube now focuses on, YouTube's more popular, more people have access to it. I knew that was going to be an issue, especially since pretty much anyone could stream off of their consoles with this current gen. I knew that was going to be an obstacle, and I feel like around that time I was starting to get less and less comments, because I guess back in the day, like, you'd actually have to go out and make a relatively decent effort to make videos, and unless you were adding like special effects and have super high production values, or you have connections, or just a decent personality, which I'm not going to say I have a shit personality, but like I'm definitely my own person, and definitely not for everyone, because I'm kind of all over the place. So I don't know. It's definitely been harder since people have gotten more access to the platform, and the platform's gotten more popular. Like, I've never been extraordinarily popular, but I know that like when I first started, like I'd at least get like 5 comments or so on a video, and I kind of knew the people who messaged me relatively well. And it's just gotten more difficult, and the ironic thing about it is those videos were made like way worse. Like when I first started, like I would take a video camera, and it wasn't even a good video camera. I record off of the television, and that was it. I also need to find a way to be able to stream retro things. I don't necessarily want to use emulation all the time, but yeah, like for PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, but there's really no affordable solutions. And I know I get games all the time. That's kind of like my guilty habit: games, movies, and toys or whatever, but it's definitely slowed down, and I can't just like buy like whatever I need to make this channel better, or at least I can't justify it. Like being successful, even like as far as like communication goes and stuff like that, for someone like me is like a pipe dream. And it's not me trying to get attention or feel bad, it's just that I don't know, I'm definitely not for everyone. I definitely have my opinions, and I guess some would call me opinionated, but like a lot of times like it's hard for me to get really passionate on screen, or like I don't want to talk about it or debate with people and stuff like that, because I don't know, I just rather put my energy elsewhere, which is a lot of times why I mostly focus on video games, because I didn't make them, I just play them, and I either like them or I don't. Most of the time they're alright. So yeah, I'm all over the place. I keep on saying I want to film videos that aren't video game related. I guess that's what I'm doing now, but I meant like outside and stuff like that. I'm sorry for the backdrop and stuff like that. Again, another thing I could probably improve on to make my videos better, but I live in a fairly small apartment, and I don't want to dedicate my house to making YouTube videos that only a handful of people watch. And thank you so much for the people that do watch. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, as far as it being, what is the word that I'm looking for? This is great, right? For it just doesn't make any sense to do for. It's not, the word I was looking for was practical. It's not practical to do that. I'd rather like have a fairly nice looking house. I actually have to fix the wall. It probably needs to be painted, or something needs to go on it, because apparently somebody spilled something upstairs and it came through the AC vents and drizzled down. It looks like dirty water or something, and the apartment people never cleaned it. I'm currently using emergency heat because my AC unit outside, the fan broke on it, which even though it's mostly used for AC, the fan actually helps blow the heat the heat pump creates. I'm not an expert on this, but they haven't come and fixed it. So there's so many things. Holidays coming up. Hopefully I'll be getting fairly decent hours. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never worked at this particular store, so I really don't know how it's gonna go. Like, it seems like with most stores and places, people are actually going into the store, window shopping, but not buying anything, so they can go back home and buy stuff online later. Like, I'm definitely afraid that, like, in the future, where there's only going to be like grocery stores and Walmarts and maybe Target. Like, you can look at like Toys R Us, like my favorite comic book shop closed down. Like, all my favorite places are like closing down or being converted into grocery stores, and it's really lame, and I don't know. So, but yeah, I would like to film some more videos outside and stuff like that instead of filming it in my room, but my sleep hours have been so messed up. That's partially due because my mind's always going on all the time, and like I switch the morning and night shifts, and like I have trouble sometimes adjusting to like some normal schedule. Like, I have to go I have an appointment tomorrow, and it's in the morning, and right now I'm like in night shift mode, so that's gonna be kind of rough. Friday I have to go to the doctor's. I'm stressing that out because I don't know, it's just a checkup, but if anything's wrong, I'll probably have to go to a specialist. And it's just the worst because it's like waiting for a prison sentence, and I'm like OCD, and of course, you know, Dr. Google. So, I don't know. So, hopefully everything will be fine. It'll just be stress and GI related like usual, but I don't know. It seems to get more difficult the older I get. And right now I'm currently single, living by myself, so I live in my head a lot. Like, I don't have anybody to really talk to kind of like help put things into perspective a lot, unless I'm at work or whatever. But then you're having like work related conversations, you have to be professional. You can't like talk about your personal life, or you shouldn't. It's not professional. But anyway, I guess you guys want to hear about games. So tomorrow I'm picking up Shenmue 3, which I probably won't play immediately just because I want to finish Shenmue 2. I beat Shenmue 1 on the Sega Dreamcast. Since we live in North America, we did not get Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast, and I did not import it. It was, I believe, released in Europe, but you had to do something with your Dreamcast in order for it to run, even though the Dreamcast games at the time are like, I remember somebody just having, like a friend of mine had like a stack of burned GD-ROMs, and they worked fine on my Dreamcast. I'm surprised I never got to play Shenmue 2 in that form. I finally played it on the Xbox. For whatever reason, it didn't keep my interest, but I got the HD collection on the PlayStation 4, so I'd like to go back to that and play it. I believe that was also released on the Xbox One, but Sega published that game, whereas Shenmue 3, I believe, is being published by 505 Games. I think so. That's who's doing it. I don't remember. I think it's them. I think it's the same people that did gosh, I can't think of the name. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So hopefully that'll be awesome. But I don't know if I want to get to it because I haven't finished Shenmue 2. I know that there's a recap on it, but I kind of want to play through the game. But I did beat Shenmue 1 on Dreamcast, and it was probably my favorite experience on the Dreamcast. I know it doesn't age well, but it's still really awesome. So a few things that I picked up game wise. I have Medieval for the PlayStation 4. All these are for the PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox One X, but I find myself playing it less and less. I think when I get Shenmue 3, I might actually trade in some Xbox games since I never play them. Since I got Jedi Fallen Order, which is kind of like a Souls game, but a little bit more accessible in the Star Wars universe, plus with Tomb Raider and some people say Metroid Prime aspects, but I haven't played Metroid Prime in such a long time. I don't remember exactly what it's like, but I guess it's like any Metroid, or what do they call it, Metroidvania games, where you're locked off from an area until you get an ability, and then you can revisit that area and then access another part of the map that you normally wouldn't access. I guess my monotone voice is kind of what turns people off. I just realized I talk that way, but I'm also trying to talk quiet because I have neighbors upstairs and next door, and it's at nighttime when I want to function. It's always at the weirdest fucking hours, or the least favorable hours. Otherwise I'd probably be doing a video outside. But Medieval's fun, but I think it's a game, either you like simple 3D platformers, there's nothing extraordinarily special about it. It looks good, but it's literally the same game that you played on the PlayStation 1. So if you don't have nostalgia for it, I don't know if you'll like it, because it's pretty basic, and I guess it's only $29.99 brand new. So if you're curious about it, you won't hurt too bad. It's a nice looking game, but it's so basic and archaic compared to like contemporary 3D platformers. I'd even say Crash Bandicoot and Spyro hold up way better. Medieval wasn't the greatest game when it was new. I just have a lot of nostalgia for it, playing it as a friend, so I like it for that aspect. But when I'm playing it, I definitely am kind of underwhelmed as I was when I first played it. But it's cool, it has a quirky art style, and it's fun for what it is. And I plan on at least try to finish it again. But there's also collectathon aspects of it, which are kind of outdated by today's standards. I know you have like your ukuleles and stuff, but even the collectathon nature of that, I haven't finished either one of those games, the 2D one or the 3D one, because I don't know. You'll start playing these games and you'll think of something else better to play. So currently I've been playing a lot of Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm not saying I'm not capable of beating it, but I'm concerned that I won't have the skill level to beat it. I'm playing on not the easiest difficulty, the second easiest difficulty, Jedi Knight, and that should be fairly easy for everybody. But the exploration aspects, the Uncharted / Tomb Raider aspects of it, the puzzle aspect, I guess what they would consider the Metroid aspect, that's not getting in the way. What I'm concerned about is the battle system, because I don't have the patience for soul types of games. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I don't like the have to click on the enemy and lock on. Like the last two Uncharted games had a similar battle system as well. I don't really like it. I kind of like more of the God of War, simpler, kind of button mashy, counter when you can fighting system, where this is more deliberate and more defensive than offensive type of gameplay, where you actually have to think everything out and counter. But it's still fun. It's in the Star Wars universe. This will probably be controversial. I kind of wish it was on the Frostbite engine, because I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 graphics wise looks really looks a lot better in my opinion. I know that's a different type of game, but I feel like they could have pulled it off. But beside that, it's just some things in the game, and maybe it was deliberate with the art style, because Gears of War 5 and 4, which run on Unreal Engine 4, as well as Hellblade, which is, in my opinion, one of the best looking realistic styled games that runs on Unreal Engine 4. I feel like this game looks somewhat cartoony. The Wookiees look kind of weird. They kind of look like the CGI from Star Wars Rebels, where it kind of looks like a 3D cartoon. But then there's other times where it looks really good. So I don't know. But hopefully I can get used to the battle system. It's like, it's not about being like capable of beating it. It's more like, do I want to put the time in to learn how to counter and stuff like this. Like, I have like Sekiro, Nero, Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 3. I don't have the PlayStation 2 version, but and then I have Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, and I'm thinking about trading in some of those games towards Shenmue. I'm definitely thinking about trading in the Xbox version of Sekiro and We Happy Few, which I didn't play that long, but since it's procedurally made and stuff like that, that game was so promising, but when I played it, I was, I don't know, underwhelmed. And I don't really mind stealth games, but I prefer those games to be more creepy, like Outlast. Like, I really liked Outlast. That was a really fun game. And I like walking simulator types of games. Like, I love The Vanishing of Ethan Carter and What Remains of Edith Finch, stuff like that. And Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, or whatever that game was called. I really love that. So I don't know, that game just, the stealth is kind of weird. I don't know. I'm debating it. I might just keep them because I haven't done any Xbox One X videos, so maybe I'll keep them and do it. I don't know. I'm debating. I have to make my mind up before I leave tomorrow morning because I'm going to get Shenmue 3 on my way home. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, it's really awesome. No microtransactions and stuff like that you're familiar with by EA. It definitely feels like a video game at its purest form. I know people are talking about glitches. The only time the game glitched on me, I'm playing on PlayStation 4 Pro, is when I paused it and put my PlayStation 4 Pro in rest mode and then turned on the system to play it the next day. It froze on me, but that was the only time I came across any glitches on the game. So if you're really concerned, don't put it in rest mode. The other thing that's like Dark Souls is you get experience. You don't necessarily level up. You just gain more force abilities, or improve on the force abilities. I guess you could level up your force abilities, you'd say, but you like have a grid and you just pick things that you want, and everything kind of costs the same amount of points. But if you get killed, you'll like go to whatever respawn point that you spawn from, which is like a meditation thing that was a fireplace in Dark Souls. I don't remember what it was on Bloodborne. I don't remember what it was on Sekiro. But yeah, you go back to that place, and if you damage the enemy, you get whatever experience points you had to level up. You don't even have to beat the enemy. So you go back and forth a lot, and then when you go to the fireplace and rest and restore everything, all the enemies respawn. The stormtroopers and the Imperial soldiers and stuff like that. Anything from the Empire, as far as droids and stuff like that, they're really fun to kill. I hate to agree with Jim Sterling on anything. Like, I just watch his videos sometimes just because he usually has a negative attitude about most things as far as the game goes. He's very opinionated, and I don't know why, but sometimes I get pleasure out of people trashing games that like I like, because sometimes I think when I like something, I put it on a pedestal. I have like dog hair on my face somehow, and yeah, so I kind of enjoy those videos because it's kind of humorous and it keeps me grounded. A controversial game, Death Stranding. Oh, there. I've actually enjoyed this quite a bit. It's probably the best graphically the best looking game I've seen on PlayStation 4. I've never seen character models as detailed as that. Like, I'm not even sure how they're pulling it off. Like, I know I saw the trailers and everything, but there's just something about seeing it in real time. It's just quite impressive. Maybe in my mind I thought it was CGI. I was kind of concerned that The Last of Us 2 wouldn't be able to be done on current hardware because of the character models. And I'm like, when it shows the character models up close and the textures of their clothes and the peach fuzz on their face and all this shit, like, these models look better than anything I've seen in the trailers of The Last of Us 2. But I don't know, it's a weird game. Like, maybe it's because I did have a job of being a courier at one point, but it's, to me, a really fun game, but I can't recommend it because it's so niche. Like, there's nothing quite out there like it, and it feels like it's boring sometimes, but then I look and I'm just like, I must not have been so bored because I didn't realize how much time passed. And it's so awesome to work towards like those cutscenes and get more and more of the story, and the environments are really well realized. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to play in the backyard. My first childhood house, we had a creek that ran all the way around. We did in the second one too, but I was a little bit older and I was starting to get less interested, so it wasn't as interesting. But I'm trying to find ways around to get to wherever you need to go to deliver the packaging. There are some light action elements. I haven't finished the game, but they're not terribly hard. But there's like a lot of reading that you need to do to get the most out of the game and the story, and you have to be interested in the story and stuff like that. It's just one of those games that, like, I could see where it could be incredibly boring and why some people would absolutely hate it or just be indifferent about it and just think it was the most boring thing ever. But I've really enjoyed it. But I can't recommend it to anyone. It's one of those games where you're just gonna have to watch some gameplay, which doesn't really tell you anything. Even when I watch gameplay, I didn't really know what it's like, because there's just holding the controller and feeling the nuances of everything, especially when you're trying to like balance your weight and you're actually playing the game and trying to problem solve on your own, and you're reading everything at your leisure, you're crafting at your leisure, you're doing the side missions and all that stuff. Like, there's so much involved in playing the game. It's just one of those things I can't recommend. All I can say is I like it, and play it for yourself. But we live in a time where rentals aren't really a thing anymore, so it's really hard to like rent it. And I don't want to say wait for a sale, because if you really like something, like you want to give that developer money so they continue to make more games. I can understand if you don't have the money and you're waiting because you don't have the money, but if you do, like, you want to support it, like if you really liked it. There's a lot of games that I bought later on that like I wish I would have bought when it first came out, because there's no longer a sequel being made for it because it sold so poorly. Even though my money's like a drop in the bucket, I would at least like to say that I tried. But yeah, I really like it, but I can't recommend it to anyone. It's one of those things you either have to like have faith that you'll like it or not like it, or you just need to somehow try to figure out how to play it on your own if you're interested in it in any capacity. Then I also got Valkyria Chronicle Sport. I did, unfortunately, I guess I'm shitty, I bought it new, but it was on sale. I didn't finish Valkyria Chronicles 3. It's one of those games where like I was completing the set, even though like I didn't have Valkyria Chronicles 3. 3 is the one that didn't come out. here. There's Valkyria Chronicles, and then there was a remastered version. I traded in my old version for the remastered version, and then 2 came out on PSP, which they never re-released, and I don't think we ever got 3. I think 3 was a PSP game as well. But yeah, 4 seems like it plays a lot like 3. And I really like the first game, and I really want to get into it. So it's like one of those things where maybe when streaming's a thing and my PlayStation 4 hasn't completely died on me, like I can revisit all these games that I've played casually. I had like some game that I played the other day. Like I didn't play it. Like I was looking through my games. This is so embarrassing, and like it was an RPG, so I knew it would take a lot of time. But I played the demo, so I guess in my mind I thought like I played it, and it came in like a metal case or a steel case, and I went to go take the game out because I was like, did this game come with an instruction manual? Because it looks like it did, because it's like the day 1 edition or whatever, but I guess the metal case was the only thing. But yeah, I took the game out of the case and it was still in the shrink wrap. That I felt really guilty. Like sometimes I guess when I get depressed or whatever, I get impulsive, like to try to feel better, and I'll have like these impulse buys with games and stuff. And I felt bad. I couldn't believe it was still in the shrink wrap, because in my mind I thought I played it because it was still like I could still remember the gameplay, but it was when I played the demo that I was remembering not actually playing the game. So I'm pretty happy with the PlayStation 4 library. I have a good idea of the last few PlayStation 4 games that I would like to get. Then PlayStation 5 will come out, and I don't know. Part of me, I know this sounds horrible, like after the PlayStation 5, maybe it's because I'm getting old, part of me almost wants it to go digital. Just because as a collector of physical media, I'm running out of room of putting things, and I'm really weird about if I don't have space for it, I can't get it, and I don't live in a house. At this stage in my life, I'm really worried whether I'll ever get to the point where I'll ever live in a house, or I don't know, be alone forever and all this other shit. Like I guess a lot of people that are probably in similar situations think about. Like, but I'm like, will I ever have a house? Like I see people, they actually have a room just dedicated to games, where like I have a living room that has game stuff in it, but I don't have a room dedicated to games. How cool would that be? Like, you know, I could film a video in a room filled with games and toys or whatever, or movies, and it would be perfect to like film in, but no. So yeah, I have a good idea of probably the last few PlayStation 4 games I want, and then PlayStation 5 will come out. I don't know if I'll be able to afford to be an early adopter. I don't know what's coming out that would make me want to be an early adopter. One incentive that I would say that the PlayStation 5, I hope that it does, is play PlayStation, at least PlayStation 1, 2, and 4 games. I don't think PlayStation 3 emulation is really plausible at this point, because that architecture was so obscure. But it would be awesome if it played like all 3. But if it played PlayStation 1 and 2 games, especially since you have to usually buy like some special hookup for newer TVs, that would be amazing, especially if it upscaled it, improved the graphics some way. Like there's so many PlayStation 2 games that like I would love to see like in a higher resolution, and like have it native, not like this download shit where like you put the disc in and it like downloads it, where it like plays whatever game I get natively. Because a lot of my favorite games are like licensed games. Like I really want to play Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and then the X-Files game and stuff like that I have, like, and the best that I can do. And Persona 3 and 4, the best I can do is those aren't licensed games. Those are just like RPG. I guess they're licensed by Atlas, but you know what I mean. It's not like based on like another franchise that weren't originally video games. But like, I don't know, like the right now the solutions are either like really poor, like as far as image quality goes, or like to get decent image quality you have to spend a fortune. Like I cannot justify like a frame meister or anything like that, and there's so much that goes into that. Like there's not like a English version, like you have to get like instructions on how to even work it because nothing's in English. I believe it's all in Japanese. There's actually layouts that you can download or buy like on eBay or whatever, like stickers that you can put on the controller so you even know what the controller does. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So that would be awesome. That would be more of a selling point than better graphics to me, because I don't know. I don't see any time soon where we'll get a PlayStation 2 mini, and the PlayStation 1 mini appears to be a nightmare. I don't know how the emulation is like when you play with this memory card. I haven't looked that much into it, and honestly, like I haven't seen a lot at the stores in a while. So I don't know. Few games I would like to play, but they're not high in priority. That Terminator game, like I know it got shitty reviews by the mainstream, but it seems like normal people like it, and I don't know, it looks better and better to me. It looks like a good time. Like that, it might be considered a shitty game, but I might buy it. I know that no matter if I support it, whether it's full price or on sale, I don't think it'll make a difference. Yeah, you're helping those people have jobs or whatever, but there's so many cool games out. Luigi Mansion 3 looks really cool. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I know it's Pokemon, but I don't know. I have a soft spot for Pokemon, and hopefully it's better than Let's Go Pikachu, where you couldn't even fight wild Pokemon. You just put them in the Pokeballs. But I think it was trying to emulate the cell phone game like Pokemon Go, where I was told, and I'm pretty sure because I trust the people that told me, and then I think I saw like a video on YouTube where like you actually can fight the wild Pokemon. It feels like a proper Pokemon. The only thing is that I heard it was easier and you didn't have to grind as much, which I don't mind, because now that I'm older I don't want to spend a lot of time grinding. Like I'm actually happy that most games don't, like most like JRPGs and a lot of games don't require a lot of grinding, because I don't want to spend hours and hours doing the same thing. Like a lot of my favorite RPGs back in the day that I used to play non-stop that I play now, they're not as fun because I no longer like the grinding aspect of it, or farming, call it what you will. But I don't know, I just don't want to do the same things over and over again to level up. But yeah, there's a lot of cool games coming out that are already out. And then they have I believe it's Trails of Cold Steel 3. Like I bought the first two. Those are games I always wanted to play on the PlayStation 3, and the third one's just on the PlayStation 4. I think there's a PC version too for these games as well. But yeah, I'd like to complete that series. It always looked good, but I never got a chance to play it, so I'm kind of stacking up. Hopefully, in the future, if we ever do go digital only, it'll be like Netflix or Disney Plus, which my sister gave me her login account, and it's actually really cool, and the picture quality I think is better than Netflix. But I mean, it's all Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Disney movies, so Netflix has its place because Disney doesn't own everything yet. Although the other streaming services are kind of annoying. Like Disney owns so much stuff. It's legit that they actually made a service for it where Netflix and even Amazon Prime, it's like a potpourri of different studios and stuff like that, so it makes more sense than like DC, where it's just DC stuff. I mean, they don't own much else, or like NBC or the CBS streaming service. Like, I just don't think that they have enough. Where Disney, I didn't realize how much they had or how many things are actually owned by Disney, so it's pretty crazy. But I'm not paying for it. I don't. This sounds really bad, but most of the people, like, I haven't personally paid for any streaming service, but because most of the people I know that have them, like, have profiles that nobody uses, so I usually just get like the profile or whatever. I don't ask for it, they usually offer it. It sounds really bad, but like, it's to the point where you can think of anything. Like, if they had a streaming service like that, and I guess PlayStation Now is kind of like that, and I played the trial. It's still off. There's definitely lag there, and it's better to download the games, but like, if you paid $20 a month and you could play like any game that you wanted to ever, not like this Google Stadia bullshit, and the internet streaming was like there where it actually caught up and there wasn't lag, that would actually be really cool, and I would be happy to use that to play newer games and then have my physical game collection on the side. Because honestly, if I don't live in a house like anymore and I don't have like an extra room just for games, which I don't know, like, it's so hard to afford a small apartment. I can't see me getting anything bigger, and the apartment I have now is ridiculously nice for the amount that it costs. Like, there's smaller places that cost more than this, and this is a fairly small apartment, so I don't know, I can't, at least right now, like, I just don't have the foresight of seeing anything getting better where like I can just afford to like live in a house or anything, unless I just magically write a novel or make some piece of artwork or whatever to get super rich. But yeah, going off in a tangent. I don't even know why I decided to film this video. It's just been a constant stream of thought and a monotone voice, and I apologize about that, but you know, hey, there's other videos on this channel. But yeah, like, after PlayStation 5, which I'm kinda, I don't know, I'm kinda like, if I get PlayStation 5, like, where am I gonna put all the PlayStation 5 games that I get, you know? And as much as I love video games, I'm really starting to feel like, and maybe that's why I've been streaming and putting more focus on like these talking videos lately. Maybe it's just like I'm starting to feel like video games are too much part of my focus, because they're not even really part of my life. I don't play them that much. I usually just buy them. I play them for like a half an hour at a time, so it takes like a year to finish like one game. The one game that I feel like I played, like, I would play a game back in the day when I was younger where it's all I could think about it was the Resident Evil 2 remake. I still had to finish the second scenarios on that, but that game, like, just to play as Claire and Leon during their first scenarios, like, I couldn't stop thinking about that game. Every time I put in a different game to take a break off of it, I was like thinking about playing that game. And as good as that game is, I just think like the original Resident Evil 2, which I still hold in high regard, even though it probably doesn't hold up well. I have so much nostalgic and sentiment for that game. It's just like what was a good game with the Resident Evil 2 remake. It just lifted it up that much higher, and that's really the only game I played. Like, I would play a game back in the day where I would legit like play it for 4 hours. At that time where I was working closed and I got laid off for like a few months I was kind of depressed, so I guess I focused all my energy into that game as well. That probably helped as well. It was like depressing. Although I think for a few days, like it was like right before it closed when I got it, so it's like I knew the inevitable was coming because we were told like about a month ahead of time. So there was that. I don't know. I just thought it wasn't. That's just the best gaming experience I've had, but I was so engulfed in that game. Like, I'm trying to think of what was going on in real life. I kind of know vaguely what was going on around that time, but I can't give details. But either way, like, that's the one game that like I played. Like, all these other games I really like, but I just can't sit there and play them for hours and hours. So I definitely have as many games as like the stereotype gamer for sure. Maybe more because it's like OCD, and I'm like the person that looks for games in obscure games or whatever. Like the people go who what the heck do they call? I'm trying to think of the TV show where they go and like pick antiques or whatever, and they call them like pickers or whatever. I don't know, maybe they're just called pickers, where somebody that just goes out and specifically gets antiques, but they don't really do anything with them. Some people resell them, some people are like hoarders or whatever and just have a bunch of shit. But I'm at the point where like I've made a area for all the stuff that I collect, and that if I don't have the area, I've made a rule where I can't get it. So I haven't gotten to that point, but I haven't played everything as much as I wanted to. But yeah, like, people see all these video games, they probably think I play video games all the time when I'm not at work or taking care of real life stuff, but it's really not like that. Like, I'm lucky if I can focus enough to play a game like an hour a day. Usually if you see a video I recorded, that's probably all the video games that I played for that day. I wish I could play more, but I just don't have the focus right now. Maybe I will later, because I really enjoy playing the games, but it's just hard. I almost feel guilty, like I should be doing something, but I think that just comes from dissatisfaction with life and stuff like that. And being fearful about the future. And that's not just one thing or whatever. It's a lot of things that I don't really want to get into, because that's kind of like my personal thing, and I don't want to be so personal. I most wish I had like a character but on here, so I don't have to pretend to be me, and maybe I wouldn't be as awkward. But that would be really weird to do it this late in the game. But anyway, that's my video that you're watching for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well. And I really appreciate those who support the channel and still check it out every once in a while. It does mean a lot. If things aren't going well in your life, or if they are, I hope they continue to go well, or they get better and everybody's happy and everything works out. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.